Hey guys, this is Gagoing Freak here. I am in a slightly not so pleasant mood today. Last week was completely. Last week sucked, basically. And showed me how many assholes were in the. Shows me how many assholes are actually around here. Well, not exactly assholes, but how much people have changed throughout the years and how much I'm glad I don't really talk to a lot of individuals. That and learned a couple of things during that time. But because of that, I'm not so much of a, I'm not so, I can't speak. Because of that, I am not in a very pleasant mood, and me trying to me fumbling my words is not helping either. So, to try to cheer myself up, along with go to training and punch, and take my frustrations out in a punching bag, I'm just going to I'm going to read the rest of this story, fan fiction reading. If you guys don't know, it's Rika and Renamon, Determination by Gabriel San. And to make a long story short, Rika and Renamon are in a relationship. Rika tells her grandmother about it. Rika's mom, um, Rika's mom tries to figure out who this person that Rika loves is, and through her snooping, she sees that it's a woman, but she doesn't know that it's Renamon until she barges into um, one of the rooms and sees Renamon faints, um, and yeah. And right now, things are kind of taking a turn for the worst. They explain their relationship. They explain they had sex. Rika and Renamon, I mean. And Rika's mom she's taking it well, but at the same time, she's not accepting it. And we're figuring out that she's not really taking it so well either. So enough of my rambling. I'm going to. You know what? I'm not even gonna. Enough of my rambling. Let's just start the story. Sunday night had finally come. It seemed like an average, ordinary Sunday. Mikono, Rika, Grandma, and Renamon were around the table, eating dinner. Rika and Grandma were talking animatedly. About new things they planned to do with the computer once they got the money. The computer? Oh, that's right. I think Rika's grandmother is into technology, which is pretty awesome. Renamon occasionally chipped in with advice about something they spoke about. Mikono just ate in silence and watched the clock as it ticked away towards fate. Why so quiet tonight, Mikono? You're not usually this silent. That's true, she's usually not, I guess. I don't know. Grandma looked up from her bowl of rice and snapper? I don't know what a snapper is. So, yeah. Yes, usually you'd at least mention young boys you've met or talk about some obscure and questionable fact about lesbians, Rika added, taking a what? Taking a bite of her cucumber roll. That sounds tasty. Renamon quietly slurped down a bowl of miso soup, not as much as a pig as Guillaume, but still needing to eat. Let me see. Something didn't feel right, but she couldn't say so without any concrete evidence. Feelings count for little out at times. There was just something about the way Mikono looked at the clock and how she seemed so anxious. Yeah, Renamon has a good sense of instinct and stuff. Mikoto smiled a smile that looked real, but hid a little nervousness behind it. What can I say? It's just a quiet night. The meal went on without incident for a little while longer. Then the front door fairly burst open, giving entrance to two rather large men in white coats. Oh no, they're going to take Rika to the psych ward or an institution. They hardly looked around at all, but instead went right for Rika. I was right. Grabbing her arms and starting to haul her away. What is the meaning of this? Grandma screamed, standing up immediately. Put her down now, or you'll deal with me. Renamon screamed, leaping onto the table and assuming a fight stance. Sorry, lady, you've got orders to do this, one of the men said, both of them continuing to drag a struggling Rika away. Renamon! Rika gave a mighty twist of her body, trying to escape from the clutches of the men, but she halted as she saw someone familiar standing in front of the door. You! This is your doing! Yamaki just smiled a cold little smile. No, I'm afraid not. I'm not here for you. I'm here for your Digimon. Renamon, run! Rika continued to squirm and struggle. But was no match for the men dragging her away. Not to mention they're like twice the size of her, according to my imagination. Oh. Mikoto, what have you done? Grandma screamed at her daughter as a quiet dinner became chaos. I had to do it, Mother. I couldn't let my little girl end up like that. She's just being taken to a deprogramming center. They'll remove her lust for women. I'm going to stop right there. Because, okay, I'm going to continue, but I really want to say this because this has really been on my mind. You can't do that to people. Seriously. Something almost like that happened to me. I'm just going to be very plain and fact and blunt. And because this is my channel, I can say whatever the hell I want. And plus, I am in a pissed off mood. You can't do that to people, especially to your family. And especially to your own daughter, Mikono. Something like that happened to me. I'm not going to go into that much detail. You guys know it from my previous ramblings on here. But because of that certain issue, I didn't go to an institution, mind you. But because of what occurred, someone I thought I could trust, they thought I should go into therapy. And by therapy, they mean talk to a priest or a minister or somebody to help cure whatever was wrong with me. And that just made me freaking angry. And when I see this, I keep hitting my hand on this table. And basically, you can't do that because, how am I going to put this into words? How can I say this? When it comes to anything, you can't do that to your kid. That's kind of like, that's like way over the top. I mean, if they, how can I say this without offending? You know what? I don't care. Right as of right now, if this offends you, I apologize in advance. Because I can't put it into words. I'm just going to be plain and simple without even sugarcoating it. If you love someone, it is your choice whether or not you love them or not. Regardless if you like guys, if you like girls, if you are bi, if you're a lesbian, if you're gay, if you're straight, if you're, if you're polyamorous, if you're even pansexual. Regardless, if you want to love someone, then you have that right to love. You can choose whether or not to love them or not. That's just you. But if you are forcing, and I mean forcing someone to not be this way, it is not going to end well. That person is going to be angry at you, even pissed at you, to where they will forgive you, but they're not going to forget. That's kind of sort of what happened to me. I'm not going to name any names because of reasons I might have in one place, but regardless, that is kind of something that really irked me, and it really does even to this day. It's like, and it's like the same thing with, like, if you have a crush on this character and you keep thinking about him in your head, and if you tell your family, okay, I love this thing even though it's not real, although, I shouldn't say although, it's like, okay, let me think of an example. You guys might know this from Mindless Gonzo's channel from one of his cringe compilations. There's this one guy who has a crush or is married to a fictional character, Nene Nigasaki. And everyone was okay with it. Although some people might be like, what the hell? I was like, okay, awesome. Like, over there, him, that's pretty awesome. My point is, like, an example for that, and my example for that, like, the love part, how can I put this? My point is, come on, words, don't fail. If they want to love something or someone or something, as long as it doesn't cause them any bodily harm or anything, then you should just let them be. That is my point. And if they want to love an animated character, let them do that. If they want to love a toaster, then do that. It is the person's choice whether or not to love someone, or whether or not to love anyone for that matter. Like for me, I'm going to wait on that part and just go to another one. Like that guy, he chose to fall in love with, like, he loves that character in Japan. I forgot the guy's name, but if you go to his cringe compilation, which I think I'll put a link to in the description below, you might know what I mean. Like him, he loved her. He loved the animated character because, I don't know why, but I don't know the Nene Nigasaki, but, he loved her. He loved her dearly, to the point where he wanted to marry her. And, that is something he wanted to do. And I'm guessing probably the parents, I'm going to assume, the parents were okay with it. Some of the parents were like, his parents were probably like, no, or whatever. And with that, when it comes to that, you should let your child or whoever just love whoever they want. If they want to love that, that's fine. If they want to love somebody else, that's fine. And if they have this, I'm not even going to go into that, actually. My point is, when it comes to love, you can love whoever you want. If you want to love whoever you want, just love whoever you want. If that is where your heart goes, then go there. As long as it's not anything creepy or destructive or anything, then if it's creepy or destructive, you should go seek some help. But if it's not hurting anyone, if it's not hurting your family, if it's not hurting your friends, if it's not hurting yourself in a negative way, then go with it. Just go with it. And your friends shouldn't even do that. Shouldn't do what Rika's mom is doing right here in this story. They shouldn't stop or try to not brainwash, but try to deprogram or do therapy or anything, because that will only make you even worse. It'll make you feel like what is that word? It will make you feel like you've done something wrong and you didn't. And that's how it kind of made me feel. And when I saw that, that's kind of what it is. Enrique's mom is being a dick right now. And You can't do that, I'm just saying. And yeah, basically, that is my rant for right now. So, yeah. That's the thing that kind of made me angry. Or annoyed, as it were. Not to mention a few other things, anyway. Okay. They remove her sick lust for women. As for that thing, I'm having her taken away. That man over there is kind of a Digimon expert. No, he's not. He'll take care of the kid soon. Mikono seemed calm, too calm. She was acting like nothing was happening. Renamon was holding back, waiting for an opening to strike when she wouldn't hurt Rika. She heard Rika scream for her to run, but she did not. She had sworn to defend her and would. But before she could, she felt a sharp burning pain hit in her side, and she dropped to one knee. Beside her was a lab-coated young man holding a Gallic prod. I don't know what those are, but wait, I know what those are. Never mind. Once on the other side of Rika was another. This time they both jabbed her in her sides, forcing her down flat. This is madness, Mikono! You finally lost it! Grandma grabbed her daughter by her shoulders, but she just retained her sane expression. You just don't understand, Mother. It's for Rika's own good. It's not for her good, it's for yourself. You're doing this because you're being a selfish person who is not accepting Rika for who she is. You're doing this for yourself, you selfish prick. I'm sorry, but I'm just angry. And some of this stuff is kind of something this is kind of bringing up memories a couple of years ago. Something I should actually try to fight back, but I'm just angry, and I'm taking it out on this story. Not at you guys, because you guys are awesome. Rika was dragged away to an unmarked van and tossed into the back where she was quickly locked in. She screamed and struggled with the door for a while before she finally gave in and lay back against one of the walls, looking up through a window at the stars. Renamon was dragged away to a van, a plain white one. She was thrown into a cage in the back, stunned and barely able to move. She turned her head a little to look out through the links of the cage to the window, through which she could see the stars she loved so much. Rika started crying as the van began to move, taking her away from her home and her love. Man, this is... Renamon lightly began to cry, stirring more and more as she got over the shocks. As the vans drove on into the night, away from each other, both Rika and Renamon began to whisper, thinking the same thought. I wish you dearly. I wish you dearly. They each whispered, I wish that Rika would be safe. Renamon quietly said to the stars, even as she heard Yamaki telling her of his plans to destroy her, that I wish Renamon would be safe. I wish that Renamon would be safe. Rika silently wished, even as one of the men explained she would be deprogrammed. I'm trying not to be angry. Explained she would be deprogrammed according to her mother's wishes. Back at the house, Mikoto was calmly cleaning up the house, acting as though everything was fine and dandy. Everything is not fine and dandy. Grandma, however, had gone back to her room, devastated. In a matter of minutes, life had altered itself from a peaceful In a matter of minutes, life had altered itself from a peaceful normalcy that had seemed to exit longer than the week and a half it had. She kneeled. What? She kneeled at her low table, staring out of her window into the night. What had Rika said? Night is special. It was the only thing that had known about us. It was the only thing that had known about us. She shook her head a little bit. I wish that they will both be all right and will be reunited in love. And that is the end of this chapter, and I am really getting pissed because of this. But there's one chapter left in this story, and I have enough time, and there isn't anyone out there that will bother me. So I'm going to read it. I haven't read this one. Yeah, I haven't read this one. Yeah. Wait. Yeah, I haven't read it, sorry. Chapter 3 is called Trial by Firewall. We'll find out. Okay, well, I have kind of skimmed through the bottom to see what was going on. And I'm not going to spoil it for you guys, but it just made my day. Basically. But before I get into that story, I'm going to get something to eat real quick. Be right back. Okay, we're back. And I brought some water with me, because I am freaking thirsty. Okay. Now, to Chapter 3 of Rika and Renamon, Determination, by Gabriel-san. Chapter 3, Trial by Firewall. Now tell me, Miss Nonaka, what do you think the root of this unnatural passion is? The room was made to appear nice, wood-paneled, tasteful, decorated with imitation Victorian furniture, plenty of natural light from the two large windows in it. The entire thing looked like a colorization of a photograph of Sigmund Freud's office. Ooh, what? Fred? Oh, Sigmund Freud's office. I don't know who that is. In fact, the man asking the question looked a little like Sigmund Freud. Who is he? He was dressed for the part, and he had... Hang on, I have to turn this music off. He was dressed for the part, and he had the beard and glasses down. However, the one lying on the couch near him was nothing like you'd expect to see on a couch in Victorian-era Austria. Okay, then who? It was Rika Nonaka, stripped of her casual blue jeans and broken heart t-shirt. She was wearing instead a very plain institutional gray jumpsuit. I could already see it in my head. Jumpsuit with soft gray shorts that were more cloth than anything else. Her hair had been taken down from its usual spiked look and was now laying long and tangled against the couch. In mockery of the long and perfect hair her mother had always wished on her. Okay, so she's laying on the couch. I don't even know. With her... Hang on. With her clothing and her hairstyle torn away from her, she hardly looked like herself. But something in the way she set her face. And the look in her icy eyes still spoke of the old Rika Nonaka, the Digimon Queen. Well, she's pissed. Basically, she's just pissed. I would be pissed in her position too, if I was in an institution, forced against my will. First of all, I'd hardly call it unnatural. It's what I know, and I know it well. It's my life. Wait. Oh, it's Rika saying this. First of all, I hardly call it unnatural. It's what I know, and I know it well. It's my life, not something for you to meddle with. Secondly, I really, really doubt that you're supposed to ask something like that. Are you even licensed to be a therapist, or are you... Oh, the therapist is telling her this. Okay. Are you even licensed to be a therapist, or are you a quack they picked up being kicked out of a university? Yep, Rika's still the same. She's just refusing to get the proper treatment, quote unquote, or she's refusing to change, which I can relate to. Rebellion at its finest, people. Rika smiled a little in satisfaction. She was so powerless that any act of rebellion gave her pleasure. Yep, that's true. Even passive-aggressively saying stuff, which I kind of do sometimes. Well, not verbally, but... Okay, maybe sometimes verbally, but a few other things. It had been a few days, but the other order... Oh. It had only been a few days, but the order was so structured, even her arrival didn't disrupt it. Arrival? What? Never mind. Didn't disrupt it. I'm losing my train of thought. The rigidity was far too much for someone the rigidity was far too much for someone so used to freedom, so she started to reject it all at the very moment she learned of her fate. The therapist sighed softly and shook his head at Rika, taking down a few more notes. Miss Nonaka, I really feel that you are not making the best use of this time. Your mother spent lots of good money, is still spending. Your mother spent lots of good money, is still spending, he began. Let her spend it. Let her spend it. Let her spend it all. Son of a bitch. Let her give you every last penny until she's broke and homeless. She had no right to have me kidnapped in the middle of dinner and dragged off into this prison. Exactly, man. Rika hit the couch with her fists and stood up straight and stood Rika hit the couch with her fists and stood straight up in it, fury tinting her face. That's not that's not a that's that's not a very healthy attitude. Your mother was just concerned about you and this troublesome experimentation with homosexuality you were engaged in. You're an idiot of a therapist, you know that. He gave no validation of her feelings, no nod to emotion. It was all very clinical. Yep, my point stands. Rika would not have it. Rika would not have it. It wasn't an experiment. It was my life. It was what I felt inside, like a warmth. Sorry. Yeah. It was what... Crap. It was what I felt inside, like a warmth. I was a better person for it. Oh, I was a better person for it. Rika softened a little. Her mind drifted away in what seemed like long ago, back to a time when Renamon had melted her icy heart and shown her what happiness was. Living in that world had been hard at times, but it had also held such richness that it seemed a shame to return to reality. I still am, thanks to... The therapist leaned forward in his chair about as excited as he would get over a single patient. Yes? Oh, yes. Thanks to whom? Who was the one who recruited you to this? The cold slap of the therapist's words were what brought Rika back to reality. I wasn't recruited into anything. I followed my heart there. Hasn't it been an hour yet? It certainly has. Well, I must say we made a bit of progress this time. Maybe tomorrow you'll feel like admitting whom it was that converted you into this perversion. You are such a dick! Damn therapist! I shouldn't say that because I went to therapy for like 3 years. But it depends on who it is. And if they're like... It depends on who the therapist is and if they're nice to you or not. If they're a complete coldless person like this guy, then they shouldn't even be allowed to be called a therapist. Crap, okay. Yeah, sure. As soon as hell freezes over. Exactly. Rika gave him a dismissive wave to the face. Rika gave a dismissive wave in the face of the therapist before walking out the door, where a guard escorted her back into her plain stone room. Probably like in those institution places, those small little rooms. Nothing in there but a bed and a change of clothes. Renamon will get me out of this soon. I just know it. I wish they'd let me keep my digivice. I could tell how close she is. If she's still there. Damn that guy, whoever he is. He couldn't possibly have any way to destroy Renamon. She's too strong. I hope. Don't worry. Renamon is tough. She will get through this. I haven't seen this, but I'm having a positive outlook on this. I'm just saying. Crossing fingers. Renamon opened her eyes, pained by that simple little action. Oh, when she got electrocuted. How long has it been? She was drifting in and out of consciousness so often it was hard to tell. It's hard to tell when a day began and ended. Surely it hadn't been that long. It had been a couple of days, so they probably drugged her. Dicks. There was no way. There was no way this guy would leave her alive for too long. Speak of the devil. Renamon thought. Oh, I thought it was Yamaki. Speak of the devil, Renamon thought as Yamaki walked up to the glass tube. Okay. Walked up to the glass tube she was being held in. Awake now, are we? You certainly do enjoy taking naps. Yamaki grinned at Renamon, a smug and superior look indeed. Why am I being kept here? I thought you killed all Digimon. Yeah, exactly, especially what happened to that one Digimon. Renamon had hardly the strength to Renamon had hardly the strength to sneer at Yamaki, but she gave him a very dark look. Also to add, don't say that because he might do it right there. Just saying. It's my job to learn more about you pests. That way I can destroy you more easily. Right now, I've got tests being run on you. You're strong, and yet you let yourself be led. It's illogical. Not entirely, but I do kind of see what he means. And I think one Digimon said that too, but I forgot. I could take whatever it is that makes you a follower and use that to inject the rest of the Digimon, creating submissive pets. Okay. Creating submissive pets. Or I could just kill you slowly, running so many tests, you finally just get deleted, and then I'll figure out what killed you and do it to the rest of the Digimon. In either case, all you creatures are doomed. Not gonna say anything, but he's making me a bit angry. Yamaki smiled and turned himself away from the glass tube. Oh yes. I'm also keeping you around so you can suffer as long as possible. It's bad enough that you creatures are emerging into our world. Why does he keep... never mind. But you go too far when you start getting involved with humans, taking them away from others. They're not taking us away from any... Digimon are not taking humans away from others, at least not what I think of anyway. Taking them away from others. You will pay for your intimacy with your slow suffering. Enjoy. With that, Yamaki walked away, back into the main era of Hypnos. Renamon lowered her head to rest against... What? Renamon lowered her head to rest it against her chest ruff. Is that possible? Well, she's I don't know, I guess. Probably. Against her chest ruff. Body stiff and sore from... Ugh. Sorry. Body stiff and sore from confinement. He's a monster, she thought. Because I love Rika, he's going to torture me, and then delete me. I cannot allow that. I have to rescue Rika from that place her mother sent her. You'll never escape. You're too weak. A quiet voice. I don't know who the voice is, so I guess we'll find out. A quiet voice A quiet voice, emanating from everywhere and nowhere, whispered past whispered past Renamon's perception, barely registering. "Who's there?" "Surely you remember me. I made your body my own place once upon a dark time." "Who? Who?" "It's impossible. I destroyed you. I remember crushing your depressed body and watched you dissolve into nothingness. I purged my life of you." Not so. I remained. The infection was farther reaching than you thought. Some bits of my data managed to survive within your body, weak and disorganized so long. What? Who is this person? Like a dark side of Renamon that we don't know of, or what? I don't know, let's keep reading. It is ironic that you're what? Yeah. It is ironic that your waning strength seems to be bringing me to the front. As you lose hope and happiness, I grow and become strong, but it is useless. Oh, so it's the dark side of Renamon, I guess, or her depression, or something, I don't know. Stop that. Oh. Stop that. It was bad enough your prisoner... It was bad enough... Damn it. It was bad enough being your prisoner and being your endless diatribes about how dark, depressing, and bleak the world is. Technically, that part is kind of true. The world is a very dark, depressing, and bleak place. Depending. Yeah, you guys know what I mean. You are an aberration that does not belong in my body. I am happy. You were happy, but you aren't anymore, are you? Now you're losing your hope, stuck in this tube and forced to endure barbaric tortures to give a madman that means to kill all Digimon. Everything is failing and falling apart, and there's nothing you can do about it. Well, there is one thing you could do. Don't be stupid. There's nothing I can do yet. Yet? That means there's something that she can do, but she can't do it yet. Don't be stupid. There's nothing I can do yet. I just have to wait for Yamagi to make a mistake. Then I can escape and crush him. Yes, that would kill him. Either way. Not so. You see, I may grow strong, but I am powerless to do anything. I am the prisoner now, and though I move, I cannot affect a thing. I will die with you unless you can escape. I can become a part of you again. Wait, I think I might know what this side of her is talking about. Like when stuff happens in your life and you are like really happy and stuff, that dark side of you or whatever, like those dark feelings, they kind of slowly leave your body. And then when stuff kind of goes awry, your old self begins to like leave or die when stuff is good. Like the old part of yourself that was, in my case, loud, cold, distant, stuff like that. When stuff is like really happy and everything. But when stuff goes not so good, that's when that side of you begins to slowly creep its head again. But yeah. It could be that. It could be something else. I don't know. Let's see. I lost my place. Unless you can escape, I can become a part of you again. But you will have the control. then we both will live. I propose... I suppose a simple symbiosis. Do you think I'm stupid? I'm not going to make a deal with the devil. Okay, how did that get to... Let's continue. If you think I look like Faust... What, like Lauren Faust? What? If you think I look like Faust, then you need your eyes checked. Fine then. Let Lamaki kill you. Then you'll never see Rika again. And get the Angstmon's voice? What? Like the... Okay, I'm not even gonna say anything. Let's continue. Fine then. Let Lamaki kill you. Then you'll never see Rika again. Angstmon's voice silenced itself. Somewhere within, but totally undetectable. Rika, I can't let Angstmon have my body again. Who is Angstmon? What is... But I can't let Rika be turned into a zombie for her mother. Yes, for the love of all that is decent, don't let that happen. We don't want that happening, and I know you don't either, Renamon. There's a path. I know it. If I could only figure out what it is. All patients, please report to the main hall at once. All patients, please report to the main hall at once. The announcement blared over the loudspeaker over and over again. All throughout the facility, doors swung open and released their captives into the waiting hands of guards, who quick marched them all into the large main hall. Like most of the facility, it was quite It was quite utilitarian, big and gray, with smooth walls, dining barred windows, and no chairs. Jeez. All the patients in the facility were lined up, row upon row of grade-clad children, from 10 to 17, each one looking in their own way, scared, except for Rika, who had the misfortune of being stuck front row center. From the floor in front of them, a stone stage slowly rose, bare and plain. Onto the stage stepped their director of the facility, a scowling, impatient-looking man with sharp, angular features and a suit that looked like it had been pressed to death. He wore a small microphone on his lapel. I'm mixing my words up today. On his lapel, and stared straight out over the assembled group. I gotta think of a grumpy voice. Luckily, I am very angry, so I think I might have to move the mic back. I don't know. As I look out over all of you, I am stricken with the same thought that I always am. You disgust me. You creatures make me sick to my stomach. You don't deserve to be called human beings. You're some sort of diseased fuck! That's not a part of the thing, that's part of me. Because I am just... You're some sort of diseased apparition that was crawled out of the slime and attempted to infect the world. That's just harsh, man. And they're like 10 to 17-year-olds. What the hell? Most everyone in the audience cringed with fear. Those who had been there longest were... Hang on. those those who had been there longest and were yet unreleased had a blank, hollow look, as though they've heard it before. I can relate to that. Not to this, but the hollow expression. It's like, we get it. We're diseased. It's like, we get it. We're like this, so shut up. As though they've heard it before. Or maybe they just weren't there anymore. That too. Because being in a place as dull as that can affect a child at a young age. Rika did not react. She blocked him out with everything she could manage, from old strategies used in Digimon card game championships to things she wanted to do with Renamon when she finally got out. A bath would be first, a nice long bath. Soaking for hours in the warm, soothing water might wash Soaking for hours in the warm, soothing water might wash away their memories of the place, especially with Renamon softly caressing her skin with a small towel. Renamon began to close her eyes, so caught up in the idea that she was drifting from her nightmarish reality. You! Her inactiveness had not gone unnoticed. Oh no. The director was pointing directly at her and scowling more than usual. How dare you ignore me, you piece of dirt! What could you be thinking of that's more important than I am? Well, I don't know, a whole bunch of other things other than your scruff voice. All eyes turned to Rika as she extracted herself from her imagining to stare directly at the facility director. I'm thinking of what you can't take away from me. Rika stood her ground. Yeah, Rika! Defining the man with her posture. What I am is not yours for the stealing. Wait, what I am is not yours for the stealing. Okay. What I am is not yours for the stealing. And all your words are nothing but hot air. Yeah, exactly. The director grew nearly purple with rage, clenching his fists as the brashness displayed before him. Security! Take this girl back to her room! Just for that, no dinner and no breakfast in the morning. We'll see how your little starvation affects your attitude. What is your name, insect? Rika remained ramrod straight, even as guards came up on either side of her. Rika Nonaka, the Digimon Queen. Nice. Take her away! The director waved his hand and then returned his attention to the General Assembly, continuing his angry and accusatory speech. Rika was... Sorry, after that yelling, my throat's a bit dry. Rika was unceremoniously led back to her room and tossed in, the door securely locked behind her. Rika flopped down on the bed, staring at the ceiling. At least I don't have to listen to that idiot. But she was wrong, because a speaker in her room started blaring the hate-filled speech of the facility director. Son of a bitch! Rika never noticed, though, for she was already off in her own world and was fully free to do so. That's what I do all the time. Even before I even know what that was. If stuff was starting to get to me or I was getting too stressed, I would kind of just zone out, go into the second universe I call home, and just be there for a couple of hours or a couple of minutes, and just be there and just be there and relax. Still around Renamon? I'm impressed. Then again, I saw you hold fast I saw you hold fast to life when I had injected you and tried to destroy every little piece of you. Looks like we both get another day of life, but it's getting rather hard to hold on, isn't it? Angstmon had masterful command. Angstmon had masterful command of every means of demoralization. Had every means of demoralizing and darkening attitudes, and she never shut up unless she felt the silence would further her plans. The perfect Machiavellian thinker who never went away, living in Renamon's head. As much as I'd love to read on, but I have to stop. It's starting to get late. Plus, I gotta get some water. Plus I gotta get going. I'm gonna finish this hopefully in another day or two. That way, I won't be so angry, and I might calm down a bit. Not like I'm not, but you guys know what I mean. Just, I don't know. So anyway, that was the second chapter as well as the third chapter, and it's pretty good. And excuse my rant. I will do some editing and let you guys know, like, if you want to skip it, I'll put something, like, if you want to skip or something, or I don't know, I'll just edit stuff out and see what works and see what doesn't, or just keep everything in. Yeah. Thank you guys for listening and reading the fan fiction, and why am I saying thanks? I don't even know. Just hope you guys enjoyed this fan